Hello and welcome to my CreateStudio character walking tutorial. Here I'm going to show you how to take a character from one side of the screen, move it to the middle, and then of course move it all the way to the end. If you haven't gotten to pick up CreateStudio, I will leave my link in the description, and using that, they actually come with a lifetime deal. Fantastic software. I'm sure you're very familiar with them, but in case you're not, that's that. Let's begin. So we have our background here when we're inside the editor. I'm going to hit back here and we can grab a 3D character. Keep in mind you can always change these around if needed. I'm just going to utilize Tom here. So let's drag and drop Tom in. Let's give it a sec to load. And perfect. So right off the bat, what we can do is make him a little bit smaller if needed. So by clicking on him, we can just go like this. Maybe he's a little bit too big, depending on what your background is going to be, right? But I think that looks perfectly fine where he's going to be walking from one side to the other. Okay. If we want to, we can also make this a little bit longer. We're going to be doing this a lot given the fact we're adding actions to it. And speaking of that, what we want to do, since we're clicking on Tom already, we have him selected. Let's click on action. And what we want to do is replace idle right here with walking. So let's click on idle. And from there, if we scroll down right here, it's going to be alphabetized for you. Let's click on walking. Okay, so the walking action has been added. So allow me to show you what it looks like. I'm going to click on play. And if you'll notice, he's just walking stationary and he's walking to the left. Perfectly normal. What we're going to have to do here is add an animation. So what we can do is click on the walking right here and click on add animation. And what we can do is click on position. Now what it's going to do is give us these little points here. This is going to showcase where we want him to start and where we want him to stop. So for example, if we click right here, what we can do is go all the way over here. This is going to be his starting position. And what we also want to do is drag that to the end here. That means he's going to start in the beginning. Now what we can do is click on the other point. And this is going to showcase where he's going to stop. So he's pretty much going to be right around here, which is a good thing. We can also match this up too. Right about there. So if we go over here, you're going to notice he starts over there and he's going to be doing the moonwalk. Don't worry, we'll change that as well. So what we've done is allow him to go from this side of the screen and stop in the middle. Let me showcase just very quickly. And there's Tom doing the moonwalk. Not bad. All right. Maybe we don't want him doing the moonwalk. It's perfectly fine. What we can do is click on him once again. You'll notice we already have walking selected. So let's click on properties. And what we can do is flip him. All right, so now he's going to be walking the right way, okay? He's not going to be doing the moonwalk, sorry. You know, maybe he just wasn't good at that anymore. He didn't want to do it, so let's click play, and he'll be walking normally. Perfect. You'll notice he kind of like speeds up ever so slightly. There is a way to change that around, which is always a good thing. So what we can do is just double click on this right here, our little point, and what we can do is go on easing. Now there's plenty of ways that you can utilize these, but if you click on one, it'll simply show you like how it moves from left to right. So we're on smooth right now, but linear has worked pretty well. Like you can do slow fast, but that's just going to be really fast. Obviously you can do slow mo, which is going to be like really slow, but linear seems to work pretty decently. So let's do that. And then let's click on play so you can see what it looks like. All right, there we go. So we did glide a little at the end, but not too bad, right? So what we can do from here is now that we have, let's just move this back over. We can do is add a new action. Since we are clicked on him, what we can do is add new action. And from here, we can just do idle. That means he's going to be sitting there. He's not going to be doing a whole lot. And let me match this up too so that we have the background with it. Perfect. So once he walks over, he's going to stop and smell the roses. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So he's standing there. Now we want to have him do something else. So once again, we can click on him right here and we want to do another new action. So this is where he can do something fun. He can celebrate with a trophy. He can check his watch. He can dance. You want to see him dance? Let's see him do some dancey stuff, right? There are some other things you can do, obviously, but I'm just going to go with dancing here. And if you'll notice, it really makes it much bigger. What we want to do is just make sure that this matches, because if it doesn't, there's not going to be any background. So we saw him come to the end of his walk. He's going to stand idle. And he's like, you know what? I feel like dancing. Let's dance. Okay? So there's that. Now we just have to do one more thing. We already figured out how to make him walk from the left side of the screen to the center. Now we want to do the same exact thing where he moves from the center but to the right. So once again, we're clicking on him. And we're going to do add new action. And what we're going to do is walking. So right here. Perfect. And it's going to be the same thing where we want to add the animation. Pretty much going to be starting right around there. Let's also make this so that the background matches again. And so right around there is where it's going to be. So let's click on him right here and let's do add animation. and we're going back to properties, and once again we're doing position. This is just figuring out where he's going to be when we start the action and where he's going to be when the end action. Obviously he's going to be right where he needs to be in the middle, which is great. If you'll notice here, we can click on this and he's already set there, but what we can do is click on this one and we can move him all the way over. He's going to be going off the screen. That's going to be where we end it, and now we can drag this pretty much right to the end here. Okay, and so if we just look at this, now it's time to shine. He's walking off. Perfect. And that's going to be the whole thing. So let's actually go back to the beginning. Let's move the dragger bar so we can have a look at it. So I think it was Tom was his name, I believe. Might be wrong. So he's walking on. He's going to stop. He's going to think, and it's just time to break out into a dance party. This is what Tom does, okay? Continuing on. And he's like, all right, I'm done. This is my gig. This is my show. You know, be sure to tip your waitress, and we are good. So that's going to be the tutorial. I hope that was pretty easy to figure out. Not a whole lot going on there, and that's always a good thing. It's like once you have the process down, I think you're going to be good to go. So kind of giving you a recap here. Make sure you do have a background. It's going to really improve it, obviously, overall. Let's go back to the studio here. So backgrounds are going to be right here. There are a plethora of them to use. And if you are going to be doing walking, make sure you kind of use one that's pretty much relevant to someone walking. For example, some of these wouldn't be as good, as I don't think they would look, you know, say like if you're walking left to right, maybe he's walking in those flowers, but some of these, let's see, like that would be perfectly fine with a street. You know, he could walk with the car in the background in a supermarket. I love the backgrounds. I love the futuristic AI look of them. But aside from that, remember we're adding our animations. We want to make sure that we select the frames about where he starts and where he ends, which is really about like dragging and dropping. Of course, adding some actions. But I'm just kind of like repeating what we did. In case you need to watch it again, feel free to go back, pause it. And if you have any other questions, you can feel free to leave a comment down below. So I hope you got some value out of this CreateStudio character walking tutorial. If you haven't gotten to pick up CreateStudio, check out that lifetime deal in the description. I think you're really going to like it. My name is James. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.